Good morning, Facebook live audience. It is time for your Wednesday word. Um, it's Billy Rowe coming to you. As you can see, the title today is "We Make Our Fears Real." Um, this is actually going to be kind of a two-part Wednesday word. One part will deal with the fear side, and next week I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but next week we'll deal with another side, but they're both kind of interconnected. What do I mean when I say we make our fears real? I guess the best place for me to start with is I've been trying to remember what movie it was for a long time. I actually have to look it up. But there was a movie that I did not like. It was a really bad movie called After Earth with Will Smith and Jaden Smith. And in the movie, Will Smith is the father trying to tell Jaden about fear. And to sum up what he says that's important, he says basically fear it doesn't exist. It's not real. It's a part of our imagination. He also says that danger is very real. However, fear is a choice. Man, fear as a choice is very, very powerful, at least to me, because I find that in life, maybe I'm seeing this more because I have a younger son who's getting ready to be 3, but you start off fearless. Like, you don't know what anything is, so you're not really afraid of anything. You don't know what hot is. You don't know what pain is until you experience it. And then all of a sudden you become kind of like afraid of the dark out of nowhere. I don't know why this happens with kids, but they become afraid of the dark. At least my 3 children have been. And it's not that there's anything different in the dark. There's just a lack of a visual sensory that can pull in information from what it can see because it's dark. So when I was a young tyke myself, one of my things that I was afraid of was I was afraid that there were monsters under the bed. So these monsters that were under the bed, they couldn't get me when the light was on because apparently the monsters that were under my bed were afraid of the light. But what I would do is I would go to my light switch, because this is back in the day. I didn't have like some kind of great remote and we didn't have the clapper on our lamps. I would go to the light switch, click the switch, and then run and jump into my bed. Because if I jumped into my bed, the monsters that were under there couldn't grab my ankles and pull me under the bed. Obviously, there were no monsters under my bed. But the fear of the monsters under my bed was enough to make the monsters real to me. It was enough to make me believe that I needed to take precautions to avoid the monsters that were under the bed. So when I say that our fear, that we make our fear real, what I'm talking about is in our actions of being fearful of future events or fearful of potential events, we sometimes fulfill our own prophecy of what we're afraid of. Obviously, I can't fulfill the prophecy and make monsters appear under my bed, but I'm taking actions, even putting myself in some cases in distress, worried about something that's not there because of a fear that I have internally. Moving a little forward in life, we do this as well with relationships. So in relationships, typically what I have seen is one of the biggest fears in relationships being that the other person is going to leave, or the other person is going to cheat, or there's going to be some kind of breach or betrayal of trust, or something along those lines. That's typically the top fears in relationships that I've seen. And because of this fear, what happens is we start sometimes making accusations. Oh, well, who were you on the phone with? Or why didn't you call me? Or why didn't you pick up the phone? Man, I miss the days when we had just pagers and all you could do was page me. And then when I got to a payphone, I could call you if I had change. But now we live in a world of cell phones and a world of instant ability to connect with each other. So we even have video. So because we have these things, when there's not a response and you have this fear of being left or being cheated on or the relationship coming to an end, what you start to do is take action again. And sometimes what happens is the actions that we take are the same exact actions that fulfill the prophecy that we are afraid of. We're afraid you're going to leave, but we take actions that chase you off. that doesn't work very well. And the last place that I want to explore on this, and this, just so you know, this will kind of lead into next week's video, is in death. In death, there's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of, I haven't been there and I haven't experienced it, so I can't really tell you what goes on. I'm hopeful, and that's all I got. So in death, there's a lot of fear, and I think, unfortunately, what happens is because of the unknown state that death brings to the living, it's not something we can relate with. We have certain fears that enact themselves there. In my family personally, there's a strong inability to allow a person's death to be an accepted part of life. Like, death happens. When we get here, we may not understand that our time is limited on this earth, but once we are here and we start to learn how life works, you start to understand that at some point you're going to pass away. And I don't know where that leads. I'm hopeful on where that leads, but at some point it's going to happen. So in our fear, what we do is we beat ourselves up and say, oh, well, this person died and I can't let them go, because if I let them go, then what I'm doing is I'm forgetting them. If I am at a funeral, sometimes I don't go to funerals because I don't like being sad like that. I prefer personally to remember the person that I knew in the last capacity that I knew them, and that was not still and not moving and not responsive. That doesn't mean that I haven't gone to funerals and that I won't go to funerals. It's something that I prefer not to do. But what we'll do is we'll hold on to that and we'll beat ourselves up with it like it's a baseball bat. And we'll say, well, I have to mourn every single day of my life, or I really didn't care about this person, or I really didn't love this person like I said I love this person. Sometimes what we'll do is we'll use the person's death as an excuse. I've had conversations with people who are like, well, since such and such died, I haven't been able to be the person that I wanted to be. Well, that sounds like really tragic. I'm going to be honest. It sounds really tragic, but my advice to you is if the person you're being or not being is not what you really feel like honors the memory of that person, then you have to let the fear of forgetting, I think that's what it really is, a fear I'm going to forget about this person who's no longer here. Look, there's plenty of people that I've lost years and years and years ago that I still remember and I carry with me, but what I try to do is I try to live for us and live to make us proud. I want to be proud of myself, and I want to know that, or at least believe that if the person was here today, they would still be proud to consider me their friend. They would be proud to consider me their nephew. They would be proud to consider me their grandson. So I wrote a quote yesterday. I just scratched it down, but it says that death should not consume the living. We can't allow our fears, any fear, whether it's death, whether it's relationship, whether it's the monster under the bed, we can't allow our fears to consume us. And what we really have to be aware of is that we can't allow ourselves to bring those fears to life and bring those fears into reality. Because again, fear is not real. It stands for false evidence appearing real, but it's not real. To appear to be something does not make you something. Danger is real, so keep yourself safe, but fear is not real. Choose to be able to stand up against your fears, to be bold, to be courageous, to have courage in the face of it. And say, you know what? I understand that inside, I might be terrified. I might be afraid. But on the outside, I'm going to do the actions that I know make sense. That I know that are going to make me stronger. That I know are going to make me become the person that I want to be. The person that I want to become. So, as always, it's Billy Rowe. It's your Wednesday word. I hope you guys are going to have a great Wednesday, because I plan to have a great Wednesday in mind, body, and spirit. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. If you like the video, share it. If you share it, like it. I'd love to engage with you in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this particular topic about fear. Next week, what we'll be talking about more in depth is actually about death. I know that may be a gloomy end, but the reality is it's a part of life, and I think that we have to learn to embrace it. Not like it, but embrace the reality that it is a part of life. As always, I love you guys. Take care, and I'll see you in 7 days. Bye.